Today we're going to be making a case to store your eyelashes in, or the one I'm making happens to be, since I already have this one, but I'm going to end up using mine for my nail polish accessories. So I noticed that when I first posted this on Instagram, a lot of people really liked it. I had looked all over YouTube for something like this. I even looked on Amazon, didn't really see anything. So I got creative and I thought, what can I do to put my eyelashes in and keep them safe? So we're gonna make this eyelash holder and glue storage. I got this. All this is the little pill case. It comes with the little pill inserts like this. From the Dollar Tree, it's $1. And the inserts, I actually have another DIY that we're gonna do with those. So you get 2 makeup storage items for $1 when this is all said and done. So let's get started. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need a pill case. I got this at the Dollar Tree. You're gonna need fabric. You can buy these squared, already cut quarter panels at Walmart or any fabric store. A ruler. Mod Podge. And I need a glue gun because I have to make my own brushes. And an X-Acto knife. Now, the fabric is optional. I prefer it this way because it makes your case waterproof. Some people like using the duct tape, so you can always use duct tape. First, I'm going to need to make my sponge for my Mod Podge real quick. I just took a Dollar Tree sponge, just cut it up, and then you take any pencil. Okay, so you just cut your cut piece of sponge. This is a lot cheaper, and then you just throw it away afterwards. Take your sponge, hot glue it to the pencil end, and there you go. Just let it cool. Now moving on to this. What first you're going to do is take out the inserts, set them aside. You can use those for another project, which I will show you in another tutorial. So once you've gotten that emptied, what you're going to do next is use your X-Acto knife, and you're going to remove this piece. See? Comes right off. Next, you're going to take your fabric, you're going to want to lay your box down, and then you want to cut, measure an idea of how far you need to cut the fabric. You're going to do this kind of like how you wrap a Christmas present. So you want to cut a little extra. So mark that. And you can either use a ruler and cut with a straight razor, or I just freehand mine. And don't worry about making a straight line because your fabric's going to be forgiving since you can trim it after you're done applying the Mod Podge. Okay. Now, center your fabric however you would like over your box. You're just going to be double checking to size it up. You want to make sure you give a little extra leeway here because when it's folded, you want to make sure that everything's covered. Go ahead and open up your podge. Take your sponge. Oop, I guess mine wasn't glued enough. Let's see. Easy fix. Oops. And you want to coat the piece as evenly as you can. I'm just sponging it on right now because I'm waiting for the top part to dry. Okay, once you've done that, apply your fabric Go ahead and close it just so you can line it up a little bit better. I want to give myself some more wiggle room than that. So I'm going to take it like this. Okay, looks like everything's going to line up. Take your podge and just do a little tacky bit right here. You're just going to want to tack this on for right now so that everything fits smoothly. Gotta let the cat out. Come on, Mama. Kitty, 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 kitty. Okay. Go ahead and dip your brush again. Tack it. Don't worry about the sides of the box yet. We want to just do the basic top and bottom and back. And tack it on. So we can get everything on there and smoothed out nicely. These little cases are really nice. I like having my eyelashes in them. This one I'm actually going to use for my nail art accessories and my nail art tools. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it for the lash case. It seemed to be a really popular hit on my Instagram. And knowing that I have not seen anything like this one yet on Yahoo makes me really happy. I finally have something new to share, people. Okay. So your case is going to look something like this. Okay. Now we're going to start on the sides. This part is going to be just like wrapping a present, but you're going to have to do some trimming. So we're going to start with this area first. Don't worry about these little slits because you're going to cut around them. So go ahead and take your sponge and Mod Podge all over the case again. Now take your fabric and fold it up. If you need to apply some more, that's fine. Just get it tacked up there. Doesn't have to be perfect right now, so that you can trim. Well, okay. So you just take your scissors and go ahead and trim the top part off. Once again, it doesn't have to be exact. I've noticed that the Mod Podge and the fabric seems to be very forgiving in this project. Now, see where your slits are? Just nick that little piece out. So just cut until you get that clear, and repeat on the other side. And then just trim along this edge up here. I like that you can use either the duct tape or the fabric on these, because then it gives you a whole, you know, different way of decorating it to you, what suits you, what you like. You can customize it, you know, to fit your personality. Okay, so it should look something like this. At this point, this is where we're going to go ahead and put our coat on the outside so that it can dry. Go ahead and dip your podge again and start applying. Smooth out any ridges or bumps that you may find just with your finger. The Mod Podge comes right off of some water. You may feel you have a spot that you need to trim again, and that's okay. Go ahead and hit this section here on the spine. This will not interfere with you opening and closing the case. See, I notice I need to go back here a little bit, so I'm going to take my scissors while it's still wet and just trim a little more off. There we go. I had to adjust that, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to reapply the glue. And this dries fairly quickly. So you don't have a lot of time to work with it, but you got enough time. And just smooth it out. All the air bubbles out. And then just let it dry. It should only take about 5 minutes to dry for the second coat. Okay, so just continue. And then just finish wrapping it like you would a present. Okay, so we just continue podging and woo! Sorry, lost control of my brush. And then we'll just come back and we'll trim. I don't exactly have the sharpest scissors in the land. And just trim as close as you can get. Okay. Now you just want to seal it with your Mod Podge. And then let that dry. And we'll come back and go ahead and move on to the sides. This is where it can get a little tricky. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and cut a slit right where the back spine is of the case. So it'll look something like this. This is where you're going to want to trim. So like you were folding at present, go ahead and fold. And then you're going to go ahead and fold. Okay? So first what we want to do is we want to put some podge in there. Go ahead and put a little bit on your fabric. It'll make things easier. Now as you're folding a package, go ahead and make your fold up to that line, and then fold. It's going to be a little slippery because it is wet. Once you've got that folded, go ahead take your brush and go ahead and hit it on this side so that it can be nice and moist. Take it, tack it down really good with like a pair of scissors or your X-Acto knife. You want to make that nice and tacky. And you're going to want to let that dry before you trim. Repeat on this side. Now for the top, you don't have as much room, so you actually can trim some of this off already. But you're going to want to do the same thing. Come in and fold. Tuck them in. Get it nice and moist. just like a Christmas present. And bring it up. And then apply more glue. It also helps the glue, just be getting it moist will help it stay in place. Push it in with something firm. And let it dry. And we'll come back and trim it once it's dry. And repeat on the other side. Making your slit. Trimming the edge. Getting in there good. Getting a little bit on your fabric. The nice thing about this is it will actually harden because of the glue. It'll stiffen. Go ahead and take your scissors again. Tack it down really good. Don't be afraid to add more if you need to. Keep it to stay. And if you have to, you can add more after this is dried some too. Repeat on this side. Go ahead. Hit it with the glue. Sometimes the corners can be a little bit of a pain in the bootay, but we get them figured out. Nice thing is when it's wet, you can play with it. Just tap it down with the scissors, help secure it. Now, you're going to let it dry, and then we'll come back and finish. Now that it's dry, you just go back and trim the excess off. And there you go. Now, what you would do next is go over again with Mod Podge, the whole thing, and let it dry. But I'm going to proceed with the rest of it. Now, this one, like I said, I'm using just to store my, I'm making to store my nail items in. So, that's what I'm going to use this one for, but I will show you how you can also use this. And this is how I came up with this, was for the eyelash set. What you would do next is, let me get some eyelashes here. And what you would do is, you just take them out of the box. And you would trim them down, because you can fit 2 of these in here. You just trim them down and then you hot glue them into place. And it will look like this when it's completed. you just trim the eyelashes down, glue them into place. I also have a pair of the Kardashian glasses. These are both elf lashes right here. It'll also give you room to store your glue. You can either take these out when you're done, when those lashes are no longer good, or just clean up the lash holder and place your new lashes in there. And it's a great way to safely store your eyelashes. And a little tip, if you ever run into where you've cut your fabric a little too small, or you had just an extra piece of fabric, it's okay, because you can always bling it out and cover your mistakes. So I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial and DIY. And I got more great things coming for you in the future. Bye.